I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I am known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
If you're from out of town, be sure and visit Diamond City.
I can only imagine what
It's
you've
safe,
heard,
it's secure,
what you think of us.
full of quality establishments like this.
I'd like to show you that you may have
Commonwealth weaponry.
the wrong impression.
Dangerous world out there. Protect yourself. Protect your family.
Welcome to the Institute.
Now let's hear from the Ink Spots with their song, Maybe.
This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean?
Who are you?
Sean, it's...
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean.
What's going on?
Shh.
I don't know you. Go away. Father!
Sean, please.
Father? Father, help! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father. That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute. Just as you are a parent to your son. To Sean.
Just... help me understand what's going on here.
I promised answers, and answers you shall have. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son. Yes. It's true. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the sun you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am. Raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens. That's why they took you?
In a manner of speaking, yes. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've...
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions.
Your father... he never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I... What else can I say to ease your mind?
Kellogg... he worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept them. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty, I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working the Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But, Director...
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give... I know there's more for us to discuss. The Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. I've been a part of something amazing here. And now, after all these years, you have an
You want me to stay here?
Yes, that is what I propose. The Institute can provide a better... You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen...
Things are pretty terrible up there.
I've seen it myself. I know. That is why we are so and it's a life that you can... I simply ask that you give the Institute... me... We really do have you... Will you take...
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facility. And finally, Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified.
The smooth sounds of Diamond City Radio are brought
Sean,
by the
about this synth.
You mean the
Commonwealth
child?
weaponry.
It's a
Dangerous
fascinating
world
project,
out
really.
there.
There are
Protect
issues to...
yourself. Protect your family.
It
One of the all-time
seems like
greats.
a strange
Here's
choice.
Ella Fitzgerald.
On more than one level.
I can understand how it might seem that way. It is something new. New discoveries are always welcome. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would have...
Right? I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Sean?
I couldn't be more proud of what we've achieved.
Huh?
Hi there.
I'm not scared of the surface.
It's an honor to have you here, ma'am.
Operating at full capacity.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase out on these... older models can't come soon enough.
I'm through.
Hope you enjoyed that
I
last
know.
number.
Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full journey.
Now here's the latest from the
All
Commonwealth.
set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Reports suggest a chem deal gone bad outside Diamond City.
Of course.
Details are scarce, but it sounds like whatever happened, it was pretty violent. While there's no official connection, it has been noted that Diamond City resident Henry Cook went missing at approximately the same time. If we're able to verify any further details of this story, we'll pass them on to you listeners. Just another day in the Commonwealth, huh, folks? Here's Uranium Fever by Elton Britt.
Greetings.
It's catchy.
As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
You haven't patched your navigation
Let's see what you got.
I can't express how truly humbling it is to stand in your presence.
If you encounter a hazardous chemical spill, please alert the Facilities Division immediately.
Come now, Alan, it could have been anything. It was probably just a glitch in the nervous system. The fine motor control software could use an update.
If it were just a limb twitching, perhaps. But her eyes were moving as well. Involuntary twitching and rapid eye movements while sleeping can only mean one thing, Max. You just don't want to admit to yourself what it is.
If you're about to launch into one of your impassioned speeches about artificial sentience and machines with souls, don't bother. I've heard enough of them by now. Write them down from memory.
But we can't just ignore the question. If a synth can dream, why can't it have a soul? And if a synth has a soul, then it is a living person by every standard we can measure. Of course it is far more comfortable to think of them as machines. so we can do what we want with them.
If you disapprove of the work we do here,
We're all
Dr.
looking
Binet,
forward to working with
you
you.
know where to find the teleporter.
Now, just a moment. I never said that. I'm simply trying to open everyone's eyes to new possibilities.
Well, it's an unwanted distraction.
You're here. Glad you
Women
made
of
it.
Science, philosophers.
Do we really need all these coursers roaming the halls?
Welcome to the Institute. Please, step right this way.
Excuse me.
I am pleased to assist with the processing of new synths.
With our third-generation synths, we've improved upon humanity.
Dr.
Doc.
Orman's lecture on
You've
cold fusion was
arrived at
nothing
a
short of a
momentous
revelation.
time. Our third-generation synths are a true.
Sure.
It's no exaggeration to say that
What makes them superior?
the list of improvements is exhaustive. Imagine what you could accomplish. Imagine what you could create if you could spend every waking moment, like I said.
Dr. Logan?
All our divisions are important, but I tend to think of robotics as the first among equals.
Welcome. Please proceed directly to processing.
Max?
The synths aren't just Father's legacy. They're his gift to humanity.
Scanning. Unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Hi.
All systems nominal.
We are working at optimal efficiency.
Hey there.
We are working at optimal efficiency.
G981 is our shift leader.
Construction is proceeding according to schedule.
Please direct all inquiries to G981.
Just keep talking if you can. I'm afraid this may be rather painful.
Don't worry about it, Doc.
Anesthetic would lower your blood pressure too much, and I need you to remain conscious.
You already explained all that. It's gonna be worth it, right?
Oh, most definitely. These implants are much more advanced than anything you've had before. Dr. Walter is very pleased with you. The Gen 3 synth program is finally making progress, thanks to the genetic material you recovered.
You talking about that kid we got from the vault?
Yes, A perfectly unspoiled DNA sample. Now this next part is especially delicate, so if you can please look straight into the light.
Should everything be purple?
Oh, that's just a calibration error. How about now?
Better.
I'm just glad to have a chance to test these on a cooperative human subject. Normally, the directors are very touchy about allowing this kind of technology outside the Institute.
Sure.
They must find you extremely trustworthy.
You see, these are gonna work, right, Doc?
Oh, yes. When I say test, I simply mean collecting data over time, which will be very valuable to making further improvements. This next part may be exceptionally painful. Try your best to remain conscious.
See that you do. Our new synths are so lifelike, I keep mistaking them for real people.
Hi, Doc.
Welcome, welcome. It is so good to meet you. I truly hope you'll come to think of the Institute as your home.
It'll take some time, but I could...
I'm so glad to hear you say so. You should know that many of us consider...
Nothing to report, ma'am.
I am seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
What now?
They're dragging
Mankind,
their feet on the targeting package upgrades I asked for.
Hey.
Maybe I should
Pardon
take some
me,
courses
ma'am.
with me. Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction
Doc.
as it is between
So,
us and pretty much all the
Here
other
you are.
departments.
Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close... Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an I'm sure you understand. There won't...
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for... It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
I'm sure it's best for everyone.
Certainly. We can't allow sophisticated Institute...
Right.
The results could be disastrous. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, well, I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much...
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't. Now, unless you need something else, I'll...
If you're the acting head of the SR...
Dr. Zimmer holds that position. He's supervising the retrieval of some of the more high-profile. In his absence?
Dr. Ayo,
What do you want? And please, make it quick.
you mentioned that coursers undergo special training.
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synths. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their...
I know it'll be a difficult adjustment for you, but try to remember that synths aren't people.
Power armor? What would
Ella
you need
Fitzgerald,
that for?
folks. Travis Lonely Miles here, with the latest news update from the Commonwealth. And this one sounds heavy. The Green Tech building, long known as a haven for gunner mercenaries, was recently assaulted by an unknown group. From what I understand, there aren't any gunners left to tell the tale. If that's true, it's a little unsettling. Those guys meant business. there are rumors circulating that the Institute was somehow involved. Now, I know they come up every time something bad or unexplained happens. But in this case, even I have to admit, it's hard to not suspect they were involved. Don't jump to conclusions, but keep your wits about you, folks. And don't worry. At this time, there's no reason to suspect our fair city is in danger, so you just sit back and enjoy some quality music, courtesy of Diamond City Radio. Here he is, a hackin' and a whackin'. It's Butcher Pete.
Scanning. Subject identified.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound. We'll start the next trial then. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects will likely be more pronounced.
Will there be
Once
any
you've
pain?
settled in, I'll want to do a physical and get a file going.
After what I've been through?
I should think so. Who knows what you might... How about you take some time to get In the meantime, we'll do that checkup when...
Sure.
Take care of yourself. I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job to find out. Now hold still.
Got it.
You can return to the fields, and remember to record every symptom you experience in...
I hope I'll prove a useful test subject for you, Doctor.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What
Safety
is she even
first.
testing?
Nothing.
Remember that.
At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Hey.
Child synth prototype may truly be the key to our future.
Hey there.
I used to work exclusively on the synth projects, but lately I prefer less animated pursuits.
That was productive.
In case anyone didn't mention it, quiet time runs from 10
Excuse
p.m.
me,
to
Doctor.
6 a.m.
Hmm? Oh, hi there. Sorry if I seem distracted. I memorized 5 sets of design schematics, and now I'm doing...
That's amazing.
Oh, well, a lot of us do that. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say how much I admire Father, and that it's... I really hope you'll stay here with us.
Rosalind?
If you ask me, we're only scratching the surface with the latest synths.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Well, that was productive.
This is day 8 of trial 6.
Excuse me,
the last
Doctor?
week has been very
it's
productive.
you.
But some really marvelous
We're
work.
here,
I think
then. Yes, I know who you are.
Don't worry.
Thank you, I do appreciate that. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Just a second or two. Forgetting that
Thank you. I'm sure that will come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access these, in case the significance is lost on you. If nothing else, it should... Now, unless there's...
Put off by his presence.
I'd like a progress report on...
Taking your new appointment in stride. Very well. We've shifted resource. I'm hoping that the...
In case anyone didn't mention it, quiet time runs from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
7 has been discontinued? That was my favorite one.
Hey, it's me. So you're the one who sent the encrypted message. How did you even do that? I wasn't sure anyone on the surface would have a chance to crack Trinity. You know,
A friend named Tinker Tom cracked your encryption.
he must have had some serious hardware to pull.
Sure.
Your message was only one word. Friend.
The railroad sent me to look for some...
What? The railroad? And they gave me a code name too? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the railroad got to some of them, but
You've saved a lot of synths.
so much to take in. But wait, with you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths at once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now. You know my father. Father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense. I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to help, you know? C-114, it's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z1. She's a friend. She's with the railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Because the members of the railroad have dedicated their lives to fight for your freedom.
I thought only Mr. Benet cared. But your friends actually fight for us?
That's what the railroad does, Z1. She's from the surface.
I've never met another human willing to help. But, sir, we must make this quick.
Right now. How many synths want to escape, Z1?
The ones I know for certain? 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed.
Folks,
by the
I'd
SRB.
like to take a moment for something a little more...
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes.
Well, I haven't always been the best at this job. Hey, let's face it, I've been pretty terrible. Thanks to the efforts of a few of my friends, I've decided to change how I look at things, how I live my life. I'd like to just take
Just a
this
few high-security doors,
thank
right?
the Vault
Controlled
Dweller
by
for lending me a
cutting-edge
hand.
SRB security
I
tech.
really do
Yeah.
appreciate
A
it.
head-on hack is the sucker play.
All right.
You're willing to help, right?
Folks.
I can't.
Of course I'll help you.
Our core security architecture hasn't the original. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password,
I'll find it for you.
that's great. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago. But some of the...
Right.
Ask your friends in the railroad.
Sweet. That's it. Sweet.
Perimeter movement detected. Possible stealth unit in the AO. Weapons hot.
Got it. Sweet.
You're tuned to the Commonwealth's only respite from the tedium and desperation of post-apocalyptic life. Diamond City Radio. Here's a classic from Billie Holiday. It's Easy Living.
That's it.
Personal record, Dr. Brian Virgil. This will likely be my last recording. My requests to shut down the FEV program have repeatedly been denied. We've learned nothing useful in the last 10 years. Why does Father insist on continuing it? If he won't see reason, then I have to take matters into my own hands. What we're doing